So the first question on this review is asking me to find the table of values and to determine if the function is growing or decaying. I am going to first type this into my y equals. I'm going to clear out anything I already have in there. And I'm going to do parentheses 1/3 to the x. I need to make sure my 1/3 is in the parentheses, otherwise the exponent will only go to the number on the bottom. Then if I go second graph, it'll take me to a table of values and I can just copy these down. So I have 9, 3, 1, 0.33, 0.9, not 0.99, 0.11. Okay, then I want to go graph this on the graph. So at -2, it's at 9. -1, it's at 3. 0 is 1. 1 is 1/3, and 2 is really close to 0. So it looks like this. It's getting smaller the more it goes on, so it is decay. I'm going to do the same thing for number 2. So I'm going to go change my function to be 3 to the x. I'm going to go to the second table, and I'm going to write in my values. So as the x values get larger, this one gets bigger. That is growth. On numbers 3 and 4, it's telling me I'm depositing money into a bank account. Remember, this formula is A equals P, parentheses 1 plus R over N. I didn't think about how I was writing this. To the NT. P is the amount I put in. A is the amount I get out, or my answer. R is my interest rate as a decimal. N is my number of times compounded, and T is the time in years. So it wants me to find how much is in here after 4 years. So I put in 6,000. My interest rate is 0.024 as a decimal. If I can't remember how to turn this into a decimal, I just divide by 100. My time is 4 years, and quarterly, there are 4 quarters in $1. So then I go plug this in. Okay. Once I've plugged it into my equation, I want to type it into my calculator. My calculator is old, so it will look a little weird. Is it 024? Yeah. On mine, I need to make sure my exponents are in parentheses, otherwise it doesn't work. Yours keeps it up there. Okay, so this gives me 6,602 and 66 cents. Since I'm working with money, I always want to go to my second decimal place. Okay, number 4 works the same way. I want to put in 3,500. I want my interest rate as 0.015. I am putting it in there for 3 years, and this time it's monthly, so there are 12 months in a year. Then I just need to go type it in. 3,500 times 1 plus 0.015 divided by 12, oops, to the exponent of 12 times 3. This time it gives me 3,660 and 99 cents. Okay, this one is looking at cell growth. It tells me there's 4,050 cells. In the first 6 hours, the number of cells increases by 4% each hour. This one is A times P plus, or P parentheses 1 plus R to the T for the formula I want to use. So the amount I start with is 450. 6 is my time, not my 6. And 4 is my interest rate as a decimal, 0.04. So I have 450, not 400. Parentheses 1 plus 0.04 to the t. Minus 6, because, yeah, t minus 6, because we started time, and then 6 hours later we want to go back to check the percent. Then it wants me to figure out, oh, I should have p, a equals. B wants me to figure out how long until there are 700 cells. I want to go and plug this in. I'm going to plug in my first equation, the 450. 1 plus 0.04 to the, mine needs to be in parentheses, x minus 6. And then for my second line, I'm going to plug in 700. I want to go change my window because it's not going to be big enough. I know I need to go up to 700, so I'm going to make my y max 750. I don't know if 10 is going to be enough to see how long it takes. And then my scale is going to be 10. I'll change this to 100. Nope, I wanted to see the graph. Okay, then I just want to figure out where the two graphs intersect, so I go second trace, choice 5 for intersect, I press enter 3 times. It says 17.26 hours. Number 6 is going to work the same way. I have 870 to start off with. My rate is 0.06, so I have 870, parentheses 1, plus 0.06 to the t minus 10. No, I'm wrong. Let's go back, because I don't want to edit this video. Sorry if you just watched this and then made a mistake on number 5. So we are not going to put the 2 minus 6 in, and we are not going to have that many hours. And that's fine. I want to go change my x max to 30. I don't know what I was thinking. This is the third review video I've made today, so I apologize. Okay, so then I want to go second trace, 5, enter, enter, enter. How did it give me the same answer? Because I didn't change my equation. Okay, I go second trace, and I want to go 5, enter, enter, enter. I get, this time, 11.26 hours. Okay. Going back to this one that I was working on. Same thing. Why did I not change this number? I'll change it for you. It should be 1,000. Okay. So I want to go to y equals, I want to type in this equation, 870, parentheses 1, not clear. 870 parentheses 1 plus 0.06 to my exponent. And then this should have been 1,000. I gotta go change my window again. I'll make this 1,050. Second calc, 5, oops. Second calc 5, enter, enter, enter. This gives me 2.39 hours. Okay. Number 7 through 10 want me to simplify the expression. When it's a fraction, I just divide. It's going to give me 9e squared, because I have to subtract my exponents. Over here, I do 16 divided by 4 to get 4. 2 minus 6 gives me negative 4. This means it should be a fraction, so it's going to be 4 over e to the 4th. When it turns into the fraction, the exponent turns positive again. On number 9, I want to distribute the exponent to the 2 and to the e. So it's going to be 2 to the 4th, e to the negative 8x. I just multiply the big numbers. 2 to the 4th is 16. E to the negative 8x just moves on the bottom of a fraction. Same thing over here. So it's going to become 4 cubed. E to the negative 15x. 4 cubed is 64. E to the negative 15x goes on the bottom. Okay. Numbers 11 and 12 want me to graph on a calculator. Well, not graph on a calculator, they want me to graph, but I can use the calculator. So I'm going to do math. Your math has the log base, mine doesn't. Okay. So, let me pause the video and go get the other calculator. Okay, so it turns out I do not have another graphing calculator on me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to type it in, I'm going to type it into Desmos. These two. Okay, and notice how this graph doesn't have any values to the left. Like I can keep going, and it has the asymptote at x equals 0. So if I go back to my paper, that's not what I want. Back to my paper. I'm on my calculator right now. These don't have values. Okay, neither does 0. Log of 1 is 0, and log of 2 is 1. Okay. Then if I go graph this, I can go sketch the graph I just saw in Desmos, like that. I'm going to do the same thing for log base 3, right? Log base 3. Okay. So at 1 it's 0, and at 2 it's 0.631. Okay. Moving on to the next page, it wants me to rewrite it into logarithmic form. I'm going to write log base 5, because the base always stays. Then the 25 and the exponent switch spots. So I have 25 equals 2. I'm going to do the same thing over here. I have log base 3, 81 equals 4, because the 81 and 4 switch spots. Over here, I'm going to have log base 3, and then 1/27 equals negative 3. Log base 4, it should have been 1/16, equals negative 2. Over here, it wants me to evaluate. I can type these directly into a yellow calculator, which I have finally charged so I can use. If I go regular math, and I scroll down, log base is a choice on the yellow calculator, not on my old calculator. I type in my log base, which is 1/3, and then I type in 27, which gives me negative 3. I'm going to do the same for log base 1/416. So I go math, down to log base 1/4, and then I type in 16, which gives me negative 2. For the ln's, I can just type those straight in. So I press the ln button, and then I type in 1/4 and enter. I'm going to round to 2 decimal places, so I get negative 1.39. I'm going to do the same thing for ln 1/5, and I get negative 1.61. Okay, these ones want me to simplify each expression. E and ln are inverses, so I'm just left with 3x. Log base 5 and 5 are inverses, so I'm left with 4x. Over here, it wants me to find the inverse of the function. I end up with y equals 4 to the x minus 3 exponent. When it's log, I switch it and turn it into a base and put it as my exponent. So over here, this one is going to be y equals 7, x to the negative 8 exponent. over on number 25 and 26, I'm turning these ones into logs, so I have y equals log base 3x, and then I switch the sign to turn it into a -4. Okay. Same thing over here. It's going to be y equals log base 4x, and then it's going to switch the sign to turn into +5. No parentheses because these are not included with the log base. And I think I have a few more on the back. Okay. These ones are writing my transformation rules. It's saying it's reflecting in the x-axis, shifting 3 units left, and then 2 units down. So my first change, reflect in the y-axis, makes everything out front change signs. So I'm going to have negative log x minus 4. Then my second step is going 3 units left. So that goes inside parentheses with the x. I'm going to write it in a different color. Left is normally negative, so inside it's positive. And then my last step is to go 3 units down. And then I just want to rewrite it as a g of x. So I have g of x equals negative log x plus 3 minus 7. I'm going to do the same thing for number 28. So I start with my vertical stretch, translation, and another translation. Vertical stretch of 3 means I multiply everything by 3. So for my first step, I'm going to have 3 log x, and then minus 6, because it can go to the 2 because it's not part of the logarithm. Then my second step is to go 4 units right, so that goes inside with the x, and right is negative. Then my last step is to go 7 units down. Then I just want to rewrite it as g of x and combine like terms. So I have 3 log x minus 4 minus 13. Okay. Number 29 has 2 transformations. It has a shift down and a reflection. So I'm going to start with my shift down. That means I want to subtract outside. So I have my normal function. And I shift 4 down. So that gives me e to the x, minus 3, minus 2. Let me go fix that minus 3, it doesn't look good. Okay. And then the reflection in the x-axis is going to be a negative out front that distributes to the e and the negative 2. So then I'm left with g of x equals negative e to the x minus 3 plus 2. Okay, last one. I'm going 5 units left and a reflection in the y-axis. So first step, e to the x plus 2 minus 5. I'm going 5 units left, so that's positive, and it's in the exponent because it goes with the x. Then I combine like terms for my step 2. And it wants a reflection in the y-axis. X becomes negative. So, there we go. Then I write my g of x equals e to the negative x plus 7 minus 5.